Hello and welcome to this week's edition of BOI Weekly. I'm Terry Ikumi. The Bank of Industry's quest to empower Nigerians in various sectors of the economy has been extended to the Graduate Entrepreneurship Fund Scheme. The first youth program launched in October 2015 and other micro-entrepreneurs such as furniture makers, shoemakers, bakers, tailors, among others. Now, since the disbursement of these loans, many of such entrepreneurs have taken their businesses to greater heights as they continue to access funds from the bank. Two of such beneficiaries are Dotun Fasonya, who ventured into the garment-making industry, and Godwin Omale, who runs a viable bakery business. On this week's edition of the program, we'll take a look at how these two beneficiaries are contributing to the economic development of the nation. Welcome to the program. Typical of our team, we visited Dotun Fasonya's Frames Wares concept, a consulting business outfit involved in the production and distribution of specialized wares. Dotun Benson Fasonya is a chemist who graduated from the University of Jos. He runs Frames Wear Concepts, a business outfit involved in the production and distribution of specialized clothing such as laboratory coats, theater gowns, uniforms, sportswears, and special orders unique to the medical industry. The quest for knowledge and seeking solution to financial constraints as an environmentalist brought him in contact with the Bank of Industry, where a relationship was established, leading to the bank's intervention to boost Framesware's concept.
I started an organization called Center for Earthworks, an organization passionate about securing the earth. So the question was actually, so how do you sustain yourself while you do your activism? Well, gradually I had to sit with my team and then ask a personal question. The personal question was simple. So if there is no resources going, are you sure you are going to be able to pursue your passion? So somehow, as an adventurer, and the way I was brought up, my parents always tell me the need to actually follow your dreams and the need to continue with dedication and passion and focus. So I went into this as an adventure to actually find a little means of income, and before you know it, the little question that was raised, how do you raise money, became a very wonderful adventure. We started as an outfit where we make lab coats and theater outfits just for professionals. And when we started, it was just an idea. With time, I was able to get a machine, an industrial machine, at least two. Then we started putting out our products, and once people saw the products, they saw the uniqueness, and we continually got referrals from our clients.
Following the bank's intervention, the business experienced some growth, as new equipment were acquired and more hands hired to meet the demands of customers. The business is attracting international attention after some medical personnel came in contact with the company's medical scrub produced for the University of Jos Teaching Hospital and was eventually taken to India.
Basically, I spent some good time on the internet, and I listened to radio and searched for opportunities online. So I came across the intervention called the Youth Entrepreneurship Support Program, ESP, of this current administration. So I applied, and somehow I was shortlisted, and we went for the interview, and we were taught about the process of how to apply, bringing in your proposals, and doing your documentation right. So I had to actually fully register my business as it is. Sure. So I registered it with a name called Frames Wares. I was able to secure the sum of 2.2 million naira, majorly for equipment purchase, and then part of it as working capital. So majorly 1.1 was for the purchase of equipment, and the remaining was for working capital. Basically, I was given 6 months moratorium period, and the duration for the loan is 3 years, and the interest rate is actually 9%. One of the key impacts is me getting access to acquire equipment. In this adventure, as I called it earlier, I discovered one key thing, that getting equipment and the right equipment is actually very, very important for success. We started, just like I said, as a company that produced only lab coats and theater outfits for doctors. Then when we actually x-ray the market, we noticed that, okay, there is actually a very wide market in Nigeria for uniforms, for other forms of wears like t-shirts, academic gowns, sportswears, and many others. So having access to the BOI loan helped me to acquire equipment which could actually assist us in producing t-shirts. So we started our t-shirt line. Then we also went into the production of academic gowns, into the production of uniforms, into the production of hoodies, jackets, just name it, any uniform is actually in our archive. Currently we are working towards the production of bags and other important utilities. My key advice would be that remain focused. Whatever you want to do, you must be focused, you must be disciplined, you must know what you want to achieve, and then try and study the market, as well as go through the right channels to get the important information. One of the key things I did was we're not the first set, so I had to meet some of our colleagues and ask them, okay, so how do you go about applying for the loan? So I was given guidance and then the things to avoid, the pitfalls. And then I was able to actually put in my proposal right. And then I approached the bank. And of course, I was given the opportunity to acquire the loan. I think the future of the fashion industry is a very huge gold mine that is left untapped. And I believe a lot of people are keen into it right now. It is an opportunity for young people to actually engage other people to creatively design and construct made in Nigeria garments and showcase it to the world. Okay, my vision, of course, is just like I mentioned earlier, to have at least our product in each household across the country and even beyond Africa and to the world. And we intend to do so through our consistency, through our unique products. So our major slogan is simply precision in style. That's our slogan for Frameswear, precision in style. This kind of adventure is not for the faint-hearted. So if you want to do this, you have to burn bridge. One of the key portraits at home in my house is that it's like a letter. It says, son, I need you to build a bridge. Here are all the tools you need. See you soon, love, Dad. And it only contains a hammer and 3 nails. And you know it's like an impossible task to build a bridge without all the other tools you need. So it's left for you to actually create an idea and pursue it with the whole of your heart. And of course, things will fall into place. As it is, I started with just a staff. Our staff strength is now 14, and sometimes at peak period we have up to 25 staff working in this factory. We started just with an idea, and now we are at this stage, and we believe the future is bright.
Frame's vision is to meet the growing demand of providing special wares for all who need them, and the Bank of Industry is no doubt helping to drive this vision. Welcome back. Our next report features Godwin Omale, a graduate of Library and Information Science from the University of Jos. He ventured into the bakery business to solve the university's environment's desire and yearning for hygienic and affordable bakery products. Sunrise Bakery, located in the University of Jos, is a subsidiary of Oma Global Company that was established in 2018 to produce bakery products ranging from bread, donuts, meat pie, popcorn, and other confectionaries for students, staff, and other members of the University of Jos. Equipped with some background knowledge and skills acquired from his parents, Mr. Omale, a graduate of Library and Information Science from the University of Jos, ventured into the bakery business to solve the university's environment's desire and yearning for hygienic and affordable bakery products for students and staff alike.
I studied Library and Information Science in the prestigious University of Jos. I finished in 2017 and I served in Ado Ekiti. So upon completion of my NYSC, I returned back to Jos, then I started Sunrise Bakery. My mom is a baker, and right from when I was growing, I used to pick interest in our activities, and even before I came to the university, I already know how to bake cake and other small shops and things like samosa and donuts before I even came to the university. Yes. Well, bakery business is a very interesting one. It's a business full of activity. Once you are dedicated and committed, because it works with a lot of timing. Actually, I used to tell people that baking is a science, because most of the things that we do is we measure them just as the same way scientists measure their distance before they go into any formulation. Because bread that you have the same taste every day, you begin to wonder, why is it the same? Even if you cook at home, there is a day that something will happen. But that is why I always tell people that baking is a science, because we put into consideration a lot of measurements into place before we bake. And business-wise, when we started, we were doing very great. Even now, we are still doing well, but just the constant variation in inflation of prices of raw materials, is weighing down on many bakeries, not mine alone, because I'm not the only one. Like the cost of sugar when I started was 13,500, but right now it's 20,000. So flour when I started was 10,000, but right now it's 15,000. So when you look at this plus and minus, you know that a lot of business in food processing right now, they are not having it easy, but based on demand, we still try to meet up with our targets. Okay. Right now, currently, including a driver, we are 8, and we have varieties of products. On the bread, we have the big loaf. That is, we have Sunrise Big Loaf. We also have the medium loaf. Then we have the smaller loaf, which is more of like student friendly because it moves faster than the other ones. Then, well, we also produce meat pie. As you can see behind me, she's even currently working on meat pie. We make donuts, then we do cupcakes, then we do shawarma, then we also sell ice cream, then we sell soft drinks also here. Then based on demand also, students working here to use the POS sometimes to get cash. So it's also a way of generating extra income. Yes.
He speaks on his contact with the Bank of Industry during his orientation at the National Youth Service Corps, when officials of the bank came for an advocacy visit. he seized the opportunity to apply for the intervention scheme for the food production section.
During camp, they came, they spoke to us that there's going to be an opportunity. And while we were serving, 4 months into service, the application portal was open. I think during my time, over 7 to 10,000 people applied. And BOI, through the application submitted, they were able to streamline the number to 1,000 all across Nigeria. And when we applied, they sent us message that they will be in touch. Then I think 2 weeks later, they sent us another message of our training, because BOI trained us on entrepreneurship for 4 days. It held in 6 locations all across Nigeria. So I was part of the Southwest cohort, and we gathered at the NYC orientation camp in Osun State. So even during our stay there, we spent 4 days. Our trainers came from Lagos. Mrs. Abimbola Osushuku was the lead trainer, and she trained us very well. And we're divided into 2 classes. In my own class A, I emerged the best participant for the whole of Southwest during my time. Then after the training, we're now asked to send in our business plan for funding. Then BOI also encouraged us to also register our business with a Corporate Affairs Commission, which we did, and it took a while, but I think they are very committed people, because they take their time, they investigate everything from A to Z. So it took a longer time. I think we waited for almost a year before, after service, like 7 months after service, before we got the intervention that we got from the Bank of Industry. Yes, I think majorly the cash is 1.9 million, and BOI, as you know them, they don't give you money. They finance equipment, and that is why they are called Bank of Industry. So except you apply for working capital, but ours was restricted between 2 million. So mine, we got 1.9 million, which was they finance our oven, mixer, and work table, and the bread rack is 4 items they finance. Then they were able to also help with my rent for 3 months, for 3 years, sorry. The moratorium was 6 months. Then for Jeff, that is Graduate Entrepreneurship Fund, which I fall under, there's no interest rate. Yes, it has been fantastic. I think I'll commend BOI staff. They are very wonderful people. Because during our time of waiting, my relation officer then, Mr. Ayatuddin Umar, we're formerly under Bauchi before the Plateau State Office opened. Now my relation officer is Fatima Shakarao. So I think they are wonderful people. They are people that they care to know about your pain first, even before their own services. So they always check on us, and they always come around to know how things are faring. So post BOI, things are far, far better than where it used to be. For me, I believe in human capacity. Like my staff, most of them, they don't know anything about bakery before we started. But now, I can tell you that almost all know how to bake, mold. Once the recipe is available, they can work. As young as they are undergraduates here. So my goal is that within the next 1 or 2 years, we should be able to establish in other locations. Apart from establishing another location within Jos, also want to capture Gombe, Bauchi, Benue, and Kogi State in the next 5 years. That is our target. And my plan is that each of my staff that is here will be the one to start any of the locations that will gear up. So we are building them for the future. Just take, for example, the one in 100 or 200 level, upon completion of the university education, and we send him to Benue to start as the branch manager there. I think for a start, it's something that he or she may have interest in. Even later on, he or she may develop interest and have their own bakery also, which is allowed, but he will complete his experience while on the field on his own, then with field supervision. That is the goal. One of the challenges that I faced while I was here is that I don't have access to good bread, good baked foods. So, and I love bakery products. So that was even what gave me the idea to even come back and put it inside University of Jos, so that people will not have to go through what I faced through when I was here. Bakery business is capital intensive. Like when we started, we started with roughly 2 million, but now we are worth over 10 million. So what I always tell people is that when one is flying and they put parachute on the plane for you, the parachute will not come out until you start flying. So I always tell people, you have it rough, but just start. When you start, it's when you have problem that you look for solution. But when you don't start, you will not have problem. So but I always encourage anybody that wants to go into any form of business, do your research well. When you are confident and you are sure you can break even, you can go ahead and start. In the process of the starting, help will come. We have received help from people, so we cannot say that in the beginning you have it all figured out. No. The person that even trained me has worked in bakery for over 30-something years. If it were not to be because I started, I wouldn't have met him. So a lot of things will be easier when you start. Do your research well. Once you know your research is okay, your market analysis is okay, and you are confident of this business, I will advise you start. In the process, you will see maybe one of your uncle that you have been asking for something will say that you are now serious. He will give you something. Or somebody that has been watching you will say, come, let me help you. Even if it's a prayer, it's also help. The thing is, I tell people that you can be civilized even without going to school. But the essence of going to school is to get wider knowledge on how to do things. Its application is a daily application of what we all do daily. So the education we got is that, okay, we can't do things in the conventional way people are doing it. We have to look for a way that it will help us health-wise. Because if I'm using smoke, before I turn 65, maybe I'll start, or 50, I'll start using glasses, or it has a lot of health hazard. So when I wanted to start, I researched into modern equipment, and I come across a lot of them. In fact, in developed countries, they don't even use anything that has to do with fire or charcoal. It's purely gas or electric. So like our own oven is gas oven, gas powered, then electronically controlled. So it's modern. Even our mixer, you just mix your ingredient, add water, and you sit down. When it's done, you remove it, you cut. So the level of education we acquired with our exposure, because when I was in Ekiti, I was opportune to visit Captain Cook. It's a popular bread in the Southwest. So, and I happened to also go inside and see their level of equipment, because the bread is big there, but you will not know that something is happening. Like if you are working here, you will not know that something is happening. So it helped, and I now discovered that even in Nigeria they sell this equipment. When I went online, I saw that there's an Abutex food equipment in Lagos. Then we contacted them, then through BOI we were able to get the equipment down to Jos here.
In addition to meeting the demands of the university population, Sunrise Bakery also extends its market to the people in Jos North and South local government areas of the state, with a vision to establish bakeries across Nigerian higher institutions. With the Bank of Industry's intervention, the business has enjoyed growth based on its capacity to meet the demands of its customers, with daily supplies of products to over 65 stores in Jos and Bukuru metropolis, as well as compete favorably with others in the industry. Now, over the years, the Bank of Industry has continued to provide interventions for various industries to thrive, and there is absolutely more where that came from. The interventions have obviously provided tremendous positive impact on the lives of the beneficiaries and the public. Many also are very optimistic that the interventions would make meaningful contributions to the nation's socio-economic development. So are you an entrepreneur out there, or you know anyone in need of support to grow their business? Kindly visit any of the branches of the bank closest to you or log on to their website at boi.ng. You can also follow the bank on all social media platforms as displayed on your screen. That's it for this week's edition. Thanks for watching. I'm Terry Ikumi. Goodbye.